Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a special episode of Wonderlings. If you enjoy the series, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Alright, so we are back. How do I want to start this? Okay, so, because I have basically told you absolutely nothing.
Yes.
Because I'm a great DM who knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. And isn't making things up on the fly every minute of every second.
I mean, that's normal. Totally normal.
Exactly. We are going to pick up basically at the watch that we left off last time. Kind of mid-watch. So, Vishara is currently asleep. And I need to remind myself of names because I haven't played with y'all in I don't even fucking know how long. And Vestin is currently taking watch. Because I actually went back and looked at what the fuck happened last. So, Vestin is currently on watch. You are currently asleep along with Sylvie. What would Vishara be dreaming of in this moment? As she has entered deep sleep.
She doesn't have normal dreams. Because her dreams are filled with her spirit that is bound to her. So, it would be some sort of experience from her spirit's past.
Okay, so you are currently dreaming of an experience from your spirit's past. I want you to tell me what you think this current experience is in this moment, as you have just hit deep sleep, and are currently experiencing this past. What I will tell you is that normally your dreams are kind of just that, dreams. It's almost like you're neither here nor there. It's almost like a vague memory, but tonight things seem much more real.
I'm gonna say there are flickering, sort of vague images, like someone turning flashlight on and off in a dark room. But every time it turns on, there's more disturbing sights, flashes of magic, bits of scenes of places on fire, dark things.
Okay. So you're dreaming of these almost in flashes of scenes of fire, and then another flash and another scene pops up of darkness and magic explosions and flickering about. And I guess the question I would have you is this like a reoccurring dream? Is this like a normal thing that Vishara typically sees when she goes to sleep? Or are these new, more vibrant scenes that she is witnessing?
They've always been different. The what type tend to vary. Sometimes they're scenes that are like weapons training or something that seems kind of like learning to use magic, but not magic as she knows it. Or learning how to fight with her bare hands. Lots of training sequences tend to be her dreams, but also adventures and events, often filled with glimpses of a beautiful, almost glowing woman.
And as you were having tonight's dreams, correct me if I'm wrong, or stop me if you don't want this to be quite revealed yet, but does the visions that you're seeing now, the dreams you're currently having, do they seem reminiscent of when your village was attacked and destroyed, and that, I believe you said zombie apocalypse, you said? Zombie plague or something of that nature?
Yes. Well, not her home, per se, but the first, town that she lived in, working as an acolyte for the priesthood. And yes, they did have a zombie apocalypse. The zombies came and started eating everyone. But it is sort of similar to that, but different.
Okay. So it is different, so it's not the same scenario. Okay. And so, kind of in your mind's eye, you are currently in one of these scenes. You can feel yourself amidst one of the fiery explosions that is happening. The flames are just taking over your body. You can feel the heat, almost the blistering of your skin as it takes over. This much more intense dream than what you've had previously of, for lack of a better word, a training montage or of an adventure that you've had or will have in the future. But this feels like you're in the now. And then there was the flash of light. And then the darkness comes in and sets in. And now you see the explosions of magic flickering around you. And it feels so real for you. You can feel the innate magic just surrounding you as each of these little magical explosions goes off. Amidst this darkness, and then another flash of white, and then you're brought into this new place that you've never seen before. The air smells faintly sweet and savory. Different delicious smells hit your nose, and you hear the vague laughing cackle of a woman somewhere nearby in the distance, and then you're just kind of floating in this void with these smells around you and this sound in the distance. And this lingers for what feels like forever. What do you try to do?
Well, I think the first thing is definitely to look around. Or try to.
Make a perception check.
Perception.
22. Awesome. Alright. You open up your senses. You try to visualize where you are. What is surrounding you. And as you focus, the kind of darkness that you're surrounded in, filled with this smell and sound, begins to give way, and you see what is almost like a cartoonish shape of the inside of a kitchen. But you are extremely small. Currently, what you all actually like in the Waken world. And everything seems cartoonishly big. And warped and silly. You can smell the fragrance of different sweets as well as savory foods being prepared. And you don't see anyone, but you almost just out of a glimpse see this vaguely woman-like figure who is rotund and robust, but you don't really see anyone. It's almost like a phantom presence of a person there at a stovetop with a pot, and she is cooking. And she is humongous compared to you in your small stature size, and she is like a giant in proportion. But you see her laughing, cackling even as she cooks.
I think Vishara is gonna say to herself, if only I could fly.
You say that. Do you try to fly?
I mean, this definitely doesn't seem like a normal dream to her. So, she might.
Alright. You think to yourself, if only I could fly. And then you just decide, fuck it, why not? And your feet begin to leave the ground as you slowly lift up in this dreamlike state. And you notice yourself is almost incorporeal as well, as you yourself are not fully here.
Oh, good. Well, she's gonna get closer to the food. Me noms.
Nom 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 nom. Alright, you lift off slowly, floating up, and you begin to make your way to the food. And then you notice that the entire room is full of different kinds of food, different meals, sweets, breakfast items, all kinds of food that you could imagine. You see all kinds of recipe books laid out and flown open, pots and pans scattered about, each of them cooking different meals. So it's kind of just up to you what you would gravitate to first.
Oh boy, making me decide. I think she's gonna start by taking a look at the snacks.
Alright, you float over to the snacks. And as you float over, you see the giant woman who is currently cooking like this phantasmal force, who basically takes up much of the room. Like the kitchen itself is giant. Even if you were full proportions, it would be a giant kitchen, but she is taking up a majority of this kitchen, even still. And you kind of float by, and she doesn't seem to take notice of you. And you go to the sweets, the snacks, and you see a plethora of different kinds of snacks. You see cakes, pies, little rolled up, like I forget what they're called, but like the little Swedish cakes that you know, stuffed Stacy, what the fuck her name, the brand is called, I don't fucking know. And different kinds of little candies, hard candies, all made up and like put in little jars, and cookies of all different kind of varieties.
Well, definitely have to start by checking out the cookies.
You float to cookies and the smell is just enticing. It just fills your nose, and it's overwhelming, even as you float over to the cookies. And there's just a plethora of different jars, each filled with different kinds of cookies. There's oatmeal, there's chocolate chip, there's peanut butter. Just extraordinary amounts of food. And you float over to one and you try to pull the lid up, and it opens. Almost surprisingly easily.
Yay, cookies!
You pull out one of these giant cookies that is as big as your body. And as you crack open the lid and lift up this cookie, you see the Phantasmal folks kind of just almost take acknowledgement. Their head lifts up and you kind of see their head cock. But then they go back to cooking.
Interesting. Definitely need a nibble. Nibble, nibble.
And a nibble you have a human-sized cookie relative to your body right now.
Yeah, can't have more than a handful of this.
Who cares about putting your hand in the cookie jar when you can just put your whole body in the cookie jar?
That sounds a little more dangerous.
Tomato, tomato. You call it danger, I call it heaven. And as you are nibbling on this cookie, you hear what sounds almost like another voice, like a male voice, and it's off in the distance. It's very faint, but it seems to be calling out. Not to you, but to the woman in the room. The other woman in the room.
Bishara's going nom nom, and then she's like, and she looks curiously at where the voices come from.
Okay. Make me another perception check.
Not as good. Cookie's distracting.
No! The cookie of distraction! No one ever suspects the cookie of distraction.
Of course not.
You try to focus in on this second voice that you're hearing. And as you do, the room kind of expands and juts out as more of this black void is almost constructed. And you see the kitchen begin to expand. And you see a normal-sized person with a chef's hat on and an apron who is carrying a tray. And again, they're also in like this phantasmal like state of being, and they have like this long, like curly black mustache that curls around. And you're not really able to figure out what they're saying, but they do seem to be speaking to the large woman. And you do make out about a phrase. They mention something about the latest order, and it seems like a very important order that needs to be made, and it seems like these two individuals are some sort of chefs. I mean, that's obvious, but chefs for hire of some sort. And there was a very important set of meals that need to be prepared relatively soon.
Curious?
you manage to put all this together from like the small little phrases that you hear every so often as you try to focus in on the second individual.
Well, I'm not really sure what she can do with that info, but she is curious to see what they plan to do. Or rather, how they plan to do it. That's probably a better way to put that.
Okay. In that case, let me see here. How do I want to do this? Just make me an investigation check.
Sure. Investigation.
So,
Oof.
okay. So as you kind of look around and try to figure out what it is they're preparing for this event, if it is an event, or what event is even needing such an order that's important, you're not really able to figure out a lot. What you do notice is there is a large pot, like almost person-sized pot, that is being prepared next to one of the stoves on the countertops, and there's multiple like veggies and seasonings next to it, and it looks like this is something that's currently being prepared or about to be prepared, and it looks like it is going to be a massive dish. You do hear like the murmurings of the woman speak back to the man, but you're not really able to understand what she's saying. As all of the voices here from these two are warped and twisted, and almost like in that dream-like way where you just get ideas of what people are saying, but not actually what they are speaking. But with this all being an entirely new experience to you, it's bizarre and it kind of throws you off. But you do notice that she kind of turns her head to the male chef and almost has like this twisted grin on her face. And you notice the kind of almost nervous expression on the man, even in this phantasmal kind of form that they are both taking.
Now Vishar is a little bit worried. I think she's gonna try to figure out what the woman has in mind. I'm not sure a good way to do that, but she'll probably look around and see if she can figure out what the woman is thinking.
Okay. Make an insight check.
Insight. There we go. Oof.
Okay. With an 8, it's very difficult for you to tell what she is inferring, but you don't think it's anything good. With the combination of you barely being able to understand what they're saying and really only getting like the feel for what their words mean.
Sadly, my +6 did not help.
Sadly, when you roll a 2, +6 does not help that much. It does give you an 8 and not a 2, which is great. Relatively, but you do get the feeling that whatever she is planning might not be that good. relatively.
Yeah, I think I started with that, though. So,
Yeah.
we haven't really moved and made any progress.
But now you have a firm knowledge that it may not be good. Maybe.
Actually, maybe...
Yeah, got something else you want to try? As you nibble on your human-sized cookie?
You know, it would make a lot more sense, seeing as how I have guidance, if I would cast guidance more often.
Well, technically you can do it after the roll. As it says in the spell. Which is very strange. So technically you can.
Sure. Let's see if I can help that a little bit. Oh, it doesn't actually roll the... D4.
Oh yeah. That's actually strange. I thought I did. Well, that's because you can give it to other people. That's why. Yeah, so it's just /all space 1d4. Or brackets. Either one. That's a 9.
Wow. Wow.
You are slightly more confirmed that what she has may not be good. With every integer,
Yes.
you are slightly more confirmed that it may not be good. But maybe it is. But it's probably not.
I guess I just used up all of my good luck the other night.
The luck has yet to return after 3 weeks.
Well, no. I had some pretty good rolls Thursday night with my game.
Oh, with your game. Ah, okay.
Yes. Now the dice don't like me anymore.
Big shame.
That is fate.
'Tis the way of the DM for dice to hate you.
True. Very true.
So you're not 100% positive, but you kind of think what she has is probably not maybe morally questionable at best.
Well, I guess I'll have to figure out what it is.
But as you all like trying to further understand what she's saying or what the meaning behind her phantasmal murmurings is, the extension of the room that you kind of focused into existence begins to fade away, and the second shift disappears with it. And then so too does the kitchen. But you still have your cookie. Because I'm not going to take that away from you.
She'll hug her cookie. Infinite noms. Infinite.
And then you kind of get that bright flash of light again. And now you find yourself what almost feels like the middle of a road. And you see, oh, you don't see, but you hear the clanking of different, like, what sounds like plastic or wood clacking against each other.
Obviously, she's going to look around for whatever the sound is.
Alright, make another perception check.
Well, that one works. That one works. Every place I go, it's the same.
I see all Alright, as you focus in on the sound, I got lightheaded all of a sudden. As you focus in on the sound, you the darkness kind of fades away, and a room opens up to you, and you find yourself kind of amidst various dolls and marionettes, and you notice yourself it's your arms are both kind of upright, with your elbows bent down, so your arms are just kind of lifted up haphazardly, with strings attached to your arms and attached to your legs, and your head is kind of like laying down as you are looking around. And you see you were lined up with all these marionettes and puppets, and also like little small dolls. And you see two of them kind of on this little stage, and they're currently dancing around each other. One of them is what looks like an army figure. It's a little wooden marionette wearing like this upper station military outfit. It's very vibrant red and has like all these little medals attached or affixed to it. And the other one is a female marionette who has this beautiful white dress on. They're currently dancing around each other on this little stage, and the stage has little what's the word? What's the not an altar, a little gazebo that they are inside, a little gazebo that they are inside, and it has like little flowers, and it's very beautiful to watch.
Well, I think first things first. These strings need to go. There is no binding the Vishara.
The Vishara cannot be bound. All right, make a strength check.
There we go. Oh, wow.
Pretty good strength check. The Vishara cannot be bound!
Definitely not be bound.
You just channel in your inner strength, and you begin to pull against these strings that are attached to your body, and with ease. The one on your left arm snaps, then your one on your right arm snaps. I mimed this, and I did it the opposite direction, but it's whatever. You wouldn't have known if I didn't say anything. And then you snap the ones off of your legs, and you are now free as you kind of tumble onto this table that you will kind of levitated above. And as you land, you notice like all the other marionettes are kind of like hung up, all kind of turned to look at you, noticing that you have broken free of your bindings. But the two on the stage don't seem to pay much mind as they are dancing.
So, curiosity here, now that I'm free. Do they have strings that are connected to them?
The two on the stage?
Yes.
Make another perception check.
There we go. Oh, okay. Definitely using guidance. Whoops. I keep forgetting. I will eventually remember.
I think it used to do it, but I don't know.
Well, that didn't help much.
It's a 9. It's a 9 as opposed to a 7. As you kind of like focus in on the stage that is kind of like obscured surrounded by all this blackness, the only other thing that you can kind of see in the room is this table that you were currently standing on, while all these other marionettes surrounding you. Oh, not surrounding you, but like adjacent to you. The male puppet seems to have strings. The female puppet doesn't have any apparent strings.
Interesting. Since she's able to cast guidance, just to double check things, I think first she's going to want to try to detect magic. Because this definitely seems freaky.
Okay, you cast detect magic. As you kind of channel the spell, and you say your prayer to your goddess, the prayer that you say almost seems intensified. The word, the words as they exit your mouth, you can almost see them with the magic that they hold, kind of expel themselves from you and kind of surround you in this kind of like beacon of magic sensing. And you feel a very strong presence kind of behind you as you do it. That kind of fades after. As you cast detect magic, you do sense magic. You sense a very strong Fey magic all around you.
Good.
Also, a very faint divine magic as well.
Interesting. First, she's gonna look around for that presence she felt.
The Fey or the divine? Oh, the one that was behind you. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. You turn around and you try to find where the source of this presence was. You don't see anyone there. The area behind you is just more of that black void that opens up where you would have been hanging from your threads before you pulled yourself down.
I don't like this. I think she's gonna go one more step, and she's actually going to cast another spell. See invisibility.
Okay.
Or see the invisible, however you want to word that.
Alright. You cast see invisibility. This one is this thing concentration as well? I don't remember.
Good question. I actually forget. Let me double check. Strangely, no.
Okay. So yeah, so you can have this up and detect magic as well. Because I believe detect magic is also concentration. So as you have like this radius of magic detection around you, and you kind of say another prayer, casting your second spell, you feel this once again. You feel this presence behind you, and then as you finish your spell, the presence fades, and then you see with a new kind of vision out around you. You see all of these little invisible strings attached to these puppets, which just went up into darkness. You can now see the lengths of strings continue on, and like in this invisible darkness above you. And you do, as you kind of look out, you do. There is like this. Make a perception check. Actually, make a perception check. 7. Okay. You do see, because it's not. It's. Let me my words again. I'll jump it up. As you look out towards the stage again, you do see like another figure behind them, behind the stage, with two long, elongated claws kind of up above the stage, puppeteering almost 2 puppets, despite one not having strings. And you just see, like, again, like you saw before, the other 2 individuals, this almost like phantasmal being that's like cloaked in this long, raggedy brown cloak, which you're not really able to get any distinct features out.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm trying to think. Bashar is going to walk up to the dancers, I think.
Okay. So you walk up to the edge of this table and you see like a drop down, and the drop down is just covered in darkness, except for this little stage in the middle that's a little distance off. Do you try to drop down?
Sure.
Alright. You go off the edge and you gently float down, and you hit like the bottom of this void of this blackness that's around you, except for this like little lit up stage in the center.
Well, I guess all that's left is to walk over to them.
You make your way each step, seeming longer than the last. The echoing of your footsteps, filling the void around you. As you make your way up to these 2 singing marionettes. Why am I so stuck up on singing? These 2 dancing marionettes.
Don't ask me.
I don't know. It's just a word that popped in my head for no reason at all. And you make your way up to this little puppeteering stage. And the 2 marionettes don't seem to really give you much pause at all. And then you hear what sounds like a loud clanking of metal. And
okay, definitely need to look for that.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Oh boy, these are getting scary.
23. Alright, you focus in on where this loud clinking of metal came from. You focus in, and you see what looks like a series of metal tools that have been knocked over and are now lying on the floor. And you see what looks like two tiny little shadows run away from where the metal tools fell. From on top of a table, and you see the male soldier marionette kind of tumble to the floor, and you hear the loud footsteps of the loud tapping footsteps of this phantasmal being standing up, crouching over, and going over to the fallen tools and inspecting what happened. And then they begin to pick up the tools as they have been just scattered across the floor. And you see the female marionette is still standing and looks in distress as the soldier has fallen on the floor.
She'll ask that one. So, can I be of some assistance?
You speak, and the marionette doesn't seem to.
Oh, good.
Doesn't seem to
Oh,
respond.
good.
Oh, actually, it doesn't respond. It doesn't respond. It doesn't seem to respond. It doesn't.
I guess Vishar will head to the tools
Okay.
and see if she can figure out what those little shadow creatures were.
Alright, you begin making your way over to the tools, and it's a long trek. It seems like hundreds of feet from where you are now. It's even further than that, like an entire football field away. As you rush over to where all the tools are, and you see this giant phantasmal figure picking them all up and begin putting them back on the table and like placing them exactly where they need to be. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
All right. Cross your fingers.
8.
Definitely using guidance. I'll take an 11.
Yeah. 11. I know math. Alright, you look around and the tools that were scattered, like this, just like dozens of tools that were like knocked over. And you saw where they fell from. They fell from a table where they were being stored. So you kind of fly up, willing yourself to fly up in this void dream world that you have found yourself in. And you land on top of the table and you see what looks like a little storage, like wooden storage container that was like pushed over and like made all the tools fall out, that the phantasmal being is now putting the tools back into and is like resituating them. You're not able to figure out what exactly caused them to fall. You did see two shadows running away, and they were very small. But you don't see any sign of them now. And as you are kind of looking around and trying to figure out what exactly did this, you hear what sounds like a ruckus, a tussle, some sort of distress coming from the stage. And as you turn around to look at it, hearing it, you see these two little shadowy, phantasmal-like things carrying away the the marionette in the white dress. And they are headed into a crack in the wall that they slip through.
Are they close enough that, Bashar could try to toss a sacred flame in their direction to get them to stop?
What is the distance of Sacred Flame? I think it's like 120 feet.
60.
60? Yeah, they're definitely too far away for that. As you turn around to quickly cast a Sacred Flame off, and as you do, it just kind of peters out at its max distance. And you see these two like little shadow-cloaked phantasmal figures go into this crack in the wall, carrying this marionette in the white dress.
Okay, definitely need to follow them.
Alright, you fly down and you make your way to where this crack is, and as you peek through it, there's another flash of white.
Oh boy.
And then you find yourself again in another void. And this time you kind of smell almost like a sulfury smell.
Oh, great.
And you hear like the chittering, which is familiar to you.
Oh boy.
You hear the familiar chittering and chirping of hundreds and hundreds of little bugs.
Well, I definitely need to look at that.
Alright, make me another perception check.
Well,
You have consistently
think
gotten 22 on every single one of these checks.
only the first ones.
Only the first one to reveal what the fuck you were saying originally has been consistently 22. It's amazing.
Yes.
So you focus in, and you find yourself in a familiar place. You find yourself back in Bug City. And you see like a giant hole kind of made in the bush where you previously had saw a giant deer munching on leaves. And you see the normal inhabitants of Bug City looking as if they're preparing for something. You see all of these different little lightning bugs kind of lined up in various rows. And you see like a firefly in front of all of them, and they seem to be giving some sort of instructions, and as they give an instruction, each of these lines of fireflies kind of flicker in like a different formation.
Curious. I think Vishar is gonna go over and see what's going on.
Okay. You approach to kind of get a better idea of what's going on. And again, like all of these fireflies, all of the bugs, all kind of like in this phantasmal state of being. Give me an insight check.
I should be good at this, but... Oh, well, that time I am.
When it comes to bugs, the Shaw knows exactly what they're all about.
She's had experience now.
Okay, so you approach, and you see, it's very reminiscent of like a military, military marching formation or a band marching formation. Well, you now getting up close, you can see one firefly in front of each of these kind of like lines is giving out directions and almost like directing the rest of them on how to do proper proper formations, and is like flickering their abdomen in like very distinct ways, and then the whole line behind them is doing it, and occasionally one or several will mess up, and there's other bugs going down the line, kind of correcting them each time they mess up, as they are kind of like going through this practice. And if you didn't actually take the language juice that I've blanked on the name of right now.
Yes.
Yeah, so you actually don't understand what they're saying, and they too are kind of like saying things in like this twisted, phantasmal way. But it's even more confusing because they're bugs. And the languages of chirps and squeaks and the occasional hisses.
Bashara will try to reach out with her mind.
Okay.
And connect to one.
Alright. You begin to reach out with your mind. Would you just be targeting like a random one in the line formation, or like one of the main bugs? That's like seems to be leading
If there's
this.
one that looks important, definitely go for that one.
Yeah, so all of the ones like at the head of the line, like toned back towards the rest of the formation, do look like they are in a, I don't want to say more important, but yes, more important.
Well, she'll target that one then.
Alright, so you target one of the leading formations, and as you do, it's strange. It's almost like trying to connect to someone in a dream, which is kind of exactly what you're doing. So it's almost as if you're having a dream of someone and you're trying to connect to this dream person. It's very strange, it's very bizarre, and as you do, you kind of feel a combination of your own thoughts and kind of going through this like reverb of hearing yourself, as well as like hearing the innermost thoughts of this bug.
weirder and weirder. She's like, I've never had this sort of dream before.
Feywild fucked up, man. Michelle just had some really bad mushrooms the night before.
Ew, mushrooms.
Yuck. But as you kind of do this, you kind of begin to understand like the phantasmal chirps and hisses of one of these formation leaders. And a lot of what they're saying is exactly what they're doing. They're like describing a formation and then doing it, and then the rest of the lightning bugs are doing it as well. And you also kind of, now that you're so close to them, kind of notice that they don't seem to notice you, and also you notice that with each flash is kind of like where this phosphorus, not phosphorus, the sulfurous smell is kind of emanating from. It's from their the butts. But as if you, well, actually, I should ask this as a question: do you continue to watch them and stay connected in this one's mind?
If there's no, like, other distractions, then I guess so.
Currently, no, nothing, no other distractions. It's actually pretty peaceful. You do kind of notice, like in this, like weird dream void of Bug City, you notice like bugs kind of flying off to where the deer was having the munchies and trying to make repairs to the bushes, although those city constructions where that had happened. But they kind of just fly off into the void in that direction. And then as you continue to kind of absorb these formations of these lightning bugs, eventually you kind of hear several voices. Several voices in what originally sounds like Sylvan. But it's also in this weird phantasmal mixture. And they the voices appear to be approaching the lightning bugs.
Well, definitely need to find out what's going on with the voices.
Alright. Make me a perception check.
Let's see. Cross your fingers.
14, let's go. It's good.
Thankfully.
Alright, so you focus in on like these two voices. And as you focus in, the voices are like this high pitched, like phantasmal Sylvan, in the shape of two phantasmal little elvish in appearance, but like they have like these insect like wings and these like little spiky haircuts. Humanoid looking individuals are walking up to the lightning bugs, and they're about a similar size to you currently, because even you yourself in this small size is taller than a lot of the bugs, except for like the really big ones. So they're about as big as you, except for like these dragonfly insect wings that kind of come out of the back. And they don't seem to pay you any attention, but they go directly to like the dragonflies, and as they approach, one of the dragonfly leaders in the formations kind of flies over to them, and they appear to be discussing something.
She's going to try to figure out what they're talking about.
All right, so you kind of just approach and make an insight check.
Here we go again.
14.
Well,
yeah, so you kind of focus in trying to like interpret the words in this like phantasmal speech. And you do get like a good like mixture of the conversation. It's the gist of it is the two pixie individuals. So I'm just going to tell you the pixies. Have come for a kind of an estimate of time on when the formation will be ready for the ceremony. And the lightning bug, which I would assume you would have kind of changed your mental connection to this one. Is trying their best to give a rough estimate of time relative to a bug, which isn't easy, as you know very well with Doodle. But the best you can figure is that the formation is still currently learning. But they are learning at a fast pace and will be ready within. And this is kind of where it gets iffy, because the combination of bug speech with the phantasmal dream reverberations kind of mucky your interpretation of the time. So it's either between a week to a month.
that is a lot of time.
But I was about to say dragonfly. The lightning bug kind of assures the two sprites that what the fuck? What even is a sprite? The two pixies that the formations will be ready before the ceremony.
Bashar gonna say, I wish I knew what this ceremony was for.
Now I've confused myself if a sprite is actually a thing and not just a drink.
Totally are. Totally are.
I'm actually looking this up now. They are sprites. Oh my god, I was right. I fucked myself. I was like, wait a minute, that's a drink. That's not a real thing. They are sprites. They are not pixies. They are sprites. I'm here. I'm cool. I'm with it. Like the kids say. Yo. What's going on? So yeah. You that's about the gist of the conversation that you get from these two sprites and this lightning bug. Is that the formations that they are doing is for some sort of ceremony, but they don't really say what, as they all kind of seem to know exactly what they're talking about and don't feel the need to kind of elaborate further. But for you, this is really the first that you've been hearing of a ceremony. You didn't hear anything about a ceremony when you were here in Bug City just the day before. And Doodle hasn't mentioned anything about a ceremony. And that giant lizard you killed definitely didn't say anything about a ceremony. But he's also dead, so.
I wouldn't expect him to know.
And then there's another flash. And the void kind of takes you once again.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Here we go again! Woo. Man, this is really not good for anyone with epilepsy. I'm good thing. This sure is good that this is not animated. All these flashing going on.
True.
Oh. Our animation budget would be sued very quickly. So you're back in this void, and now you smell. And you kind of notice now, it's strange how a sense of smell is the first thing that you notice, and then sound. How this is like a reoccurring thing for you here. Dreaming in this strange, tiny world. But you smell something fragrant, something almost bitter, but also sweet at the same time. And you hear the clinking of what sounds like porcelain.
Well, I definitely have to look and see what's going on.
Perception check!
How did I guess?
Oh no, where's your 22? That's not a 22. That's a 13!
It is not. But you know what? I can sort of fix that a little bit. Well, a little bit.
Now it's... Have you gotten a 1 on every single one? No, you gotten a 3 on 1.
Yeah, I got that 3.
It's like, wow, these guidances. God is not with us today, my friends.
No.
Alright, so with a 14, as you try to, like, focus in on these sounds and smells, the void gives away, but only just slightly. And you see a small mouse wearing a little teacup on its head that's still dripping with tea, and it's running. And you see in its hand it's running with a time watch, with a stopwatch, and it's in its little hands as it's running, the chain dragging behind it.
I'm not even sure what to say to this.
I have left them speechless. It is amazing. As a DM, it is wonderful.
I'm not sure about that, but...
What would you like to do? You see this little mouse wearing a teacup, running with a stopwatch.
I guess she'll follow along for the moment.
All right. You take chase. Give me an athletics check. That's a 4. All right, so you
It might be higher.
Oh, it could be high. It's a 7.
Not too much higher, but hey.
It's a 7. All right, so you begin to chase after this little mouse. Well, I say little. It's about the same size as you. Only a little bit smaller. But you begin to chase this mouse, and it's gaining, it's gaining ground on you, as it's like just a little bit faster than you are. And as you're chasing it, you begin to hear like loud, what sounds like footsteps at first, but it's almost a little too mechanical to be footsteps. And it's coming from behind you.
She'll turn around to find where these other footsteps are.
Alright, make another perception check. "23." Alright, you quickly turn around as you're running and focus in on these like loud mechanical stomping sounds. And as you do, you see like kind of appear, taking form in the void, a large metallic like thing. It's got feet and it's running after you and it's giant, but it's almost like it has it's mechanical. It's like metal that's moving, and it's strange, and it has like a face that is a ticking clock, and it's running after you, or it's running after the mouse. Either way, you're in the middle, and it's gaining speed.
I'm not sure this is where I want to be. Wait, if I can fly, does that mean I can move faster than I can on the ground?
Who knows?
Maybe I should dash to the side and get out from between the two.
Up to you.
I guess I will.
Alright. You quickly make a quick turn, dashing out of the way, in hopes that the giant mechanical clock-like creature isn't chasing after you. And then it runs by you, still chasing the mouse apparently. As it rushes past you, you hear the loud mechanical stomps of its metal feet echoing through the void. And you watch as it's gaining ground on this little mouse clutching onto this pocket watch. And then you see a large top hat kind of appear out of the void, landing on the ground, opening out towards where the mouse is running. And the mouse jumps into the hat as it flops onto the top. The opening going out. And then you see the hat just kind of vanish into the void as if someone grabbed it by the rim and pulled it away. The large mechanical creature still chasing after it.
I guess I'll try to keep up with them for the moment and find out what's going on.
Alright. Alright, so you take another turn, kind of trying to intercept where the giant clock creature was running to. Make another perception check.
I'm getting a skill workout.
It's all about skill checks! Yay! 18. Alright, you begin to run in a parallel direction with this clock machine, trying to get like a view of what's happening. And as you kind of focus in, the void kind of gives way to like this little narrow hallway of ticking clocks and gears clicking and turning. And you see a squat little individual with a tall, vibrantly colored top hat, wearing it, gray hair kind of plucking out from the sides as though running away from this giant mechanical thing. And it looks strangely like someone you know.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Who would that be?
Thompson. Little gnome who mysteriously vanished as the wagon he was carrying you all in wrecked and then shrunk.
You mean the one who was possessed?
I
I still swear he was possessed.
Who knows?
Well, I definitely need to keep an eye on him.
As he's quickly running away in a tiny mechanical hallway full of clocks and ticking sounds, being chased by a giant mechanical clock-like creature. Give me an athletics check to see if you can catch up in your very tiny stature.
Oh, good. Oh, wow. Okay, I'll take that.
Alright, so now we enter a very hilarious, very silly chase montage. It's very reminiscent of Scooby-Doo, of you chasing a clock monster, chasing a tiny gnome through multiple hallways of clicking clocks. Who is chasing who? We don't really know. But you managed to keep up. And after many different twists and turns of this clock maze, you see our little gnome friend Harry, Mr. H, as we are now going to call him, because I've not going to admit that I've kind of forgot his name because I didn't look it up last minute. I simply remember the last name is Thompson. Is cornered by this giant mechanical thing. A outward-facing clock glass window pane behind him, ticking away. As he now stops running, and you see the creature between you and him.
Well, I think I need to ask, hey, do you need a hand? And see if I can get a response. No one else has, but maybe this time. Maybe this time.
Maybe this one time. If you try hard enough, someone will notice you.
Possibly.
make a wisdom check.
Wisdom. Well,
It's a 22! The
that
upset
number
of the
alerts me
century!
today.
Who could have guessed it? You call out, and as you do, you kind of put all of your voice behind it. You almost will yourself to shout in his direction. And despite this mentality, no one else really taking notice of you, even really being able to seemingly see you, you sense the faintest recognition of Thompson, as if he heard you.
Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Is the robotic figure doing anything?
It is currently slowly approaching him. And you notice it's taking an aggressive stance as it approaches him.
I don't like that part. I think it's time to use Sacred Flame.
All right. Go ahead and use your Sacred Flame. Oh, it's a dex save. I always forget. Wait, is it a dex save? I thought it was a...
Yep.
I'm
Dex
thinking of
save.
something else.
Wow, that damage.
Likely thinking of something else. Alright, let's see here. Why did I just do Mario music?
Do not ask me.
Alright, let's see here. Here we are. Dex. That is a 17.
I'm good, but I'm not that good.
It rolled very good. That is a 17, so you cast your Sacred Flame, and the magic is almost amplified as you cast it. But you're still a very small creature shooting off your spell against what to you is a very large, giant creature. And your Sacred Flame just kind of radiates against its metal-clad foot. Doesn't really seem... It's almost as if it doesn't even seem to notice it.
Oh, good. Even better.
But you do that, and despite it not noticing, you kind of look at Mr. H, and you kind of see that he takes a recognition of it.
I'll try to help. I will. I swear.
And after you cast your Sacred Flame and it goes off, you kind of see the creature, not really even flinching at it, begin to lift up its two mechanical arms, and each one kind of goes into like the two metal hands kind of fuse together, each into like a very sharp blade as it rushes towards Thompson, Mr. H. And as it rushes, Thompson just taking a momentary duck, takes a scarf that's around his neck and throws it up under the foot, kind of where you shot your sacred flame at, or where your sacred flame actually hit it. And as the as the machine foot kind of stomps down, you see the little bit of radiant damage that was there kind of cracks off on its foot from where its foot lands on the scarf, and Mr. H tugs back on the scarf and makes the machine kind of slip in front of itself backwards and fall on its back. And using this one moment of relief from combat, he quickly turns around and jumps out through this glass plane clock. And as he falls, he pulls off his hat in your direction and pulls it back on. But just before it lands, a little mouse pokes its little head out and waves as they begin to fall out into the void.
Bashar just kind of stares and goes, okay, that was a little bit weirder than usual. She's not really sure what to expect anymore.
And as the glass is falling down, you're kind of left there stupefied, wondering. The metal machine just suddenly stops moving it altogether. And all the clocks around you, all the clocks around you in the giant hallway that you were all like running in different directions around, going through different doorways and other crossing hallways, all of the clocks suddenly stop.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
And then there was another flash.
Yay.
And you are now finding yourself back in this void of darkness.
Oh no, not the darkness.
Not the darkness! And as you kind of float there in the void, in this dream-like state, kind of reminiscing about all the things that happened to you, there's another flash, and this time the flash just kind of stays. And then it
Weird.
condenses down into like a little crystalline structure of just radiating light in front of you.
Even more weird.
What do you do?
Can I see anything?
All you see is the darkness around you and this strange glowing crystal.
Okay. Is it right in front of me? Or...
It's in front of you, but it's a little bit of ways. You have to float to it. Or walk to it.
I guess I'll float to it.
You slowly float
It is
to
the
it.
only thing I can see, after all.
You slowly float to this strange, glowing crystal. And it's odd. It seems almost at peace, but sad. Which is strange for a crystal. Because it's a crystal.
Yes. Uh-huh. I don't usually expect my crystals to have feelings. Do I know anything else about it when I get close?
Not right now. Just floating crystal. A little sad. In the void.
Sad floating crystal. Very descriptive.
Yeah. It's in a void, so if that helps.
I mean, it is a descriptor, so there is that.
What do you
Is there literally anything else around?
make a perception check.
Alright, let's see here. And I'm totally using guidance.
15.
I want a 15.
As you kind of look around in the void, describe to me a time in Vishal's life where she felt hopelessly lost.
I think probably the closest she's been is in the dungeon. Well, it was supposed to be a temple, but it was definitely more like a dungeon. Where her adventuring had previously had her go. They were lost and separated from the rest of the group. And they had no idea where to go or what to do. All alone, with no one else around. Well, except for the hostile things. There were hostile things. I didn't count those.
As you look around for anything else in this void, the darkness slowly fades away, and you find yourself back in this dungeon temple.
Oh, good.
But there's no enemies. There's nothing endangering you. But there's no friends either. It's just an empty dungeon, and the feeling that you had back then. And this crystal floating. This strange diamond-shaped crystal glowing with light.
She'll call out, Astrid, are you here?
You don't hear anything.
Zeke? Scooper?
No one responds.
Artund? Even?
Nothing.
I'll take a barbarian about now.
Silence. Silence and the excruciatingly loud, painful sound of being lost.
Well. Are there any clues as to what else might be here? I mean, there's got to be something else.
Make an investigation check.
Oh God. Oh wow. I'll take a 16.
You look around, and the room that you are currently in, is reminiscent of the dungeon. It's not exactly the same. Some things are off but it's strange. It could just be your memory fading after all this time, but it's definitely the dungeon. But there's no signs of anyone else, whether it be friend or foe. You just have this floating crystal in the middle of the room with you.
Alright.
And
she's totally going to do the worst idea ever. She's going to touch the crystal.
Okay. You touch this floating crystal, and you just feel this overwhelming loneliness, like you've been lost for decades with no one, maybe longer. Just overwhelm you, and the crystal shifts from this bright white to blue to orange to a little green, and then back into this white light.
She's going to pet the crystal and say, there. Someone else is here now, even if I don't know how I got here.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh God.
You haven't persuaded the crystal. Me neither. It's a 6. It's a 6. It's impressive considering you have a -1.
Yes. She tries really hard.
You try your
really
best
hard.
to console this crystal, but mayhaps Vishara is not the greatest people person there is, or in this case, crystal person.
Yeah. No experience in dealing with crystals.
And you feel almost the kind of feeling of like, I know you're trying, but it's not really helping.
Now she's being judged by the crystal.
You have been judged by a crystal? All the time.
I'm not sure how often that actually happens, but...
Have a hold of a mood ring? Chudgy. Chudgy stones.
I'll take your word for that. Totally take your word for that.
Alright, what does Vishal do now? She is having this self crystal. I don't know, pulse on the crystal? How do people say these things?
Her attempts having failed. Or at least, it's pretty obvious they haven't gone how she was hoping. She stops petting it. And, she's like, well, I guess I'll have to go back to figuring out some way out of here. Wherever here is. I'm not about to just give up.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh boy. You want me to do it again?
Again.
Alright. Hey! And I'm totally boosting that.
She's boosting!
Hell
Alright.
yes.
You say this, and you feel a faint recognition in the stone, the crystal, and you begin to look for a way out. Make a perception check or an investigation check, either one.
Well, I'd kind of have to be stupid to pick investigation.
But why wouldn't you?
Wow.
See, should have went with investigation. That's an 8. That's an 8.
Yes, that is an 8.
Alright, so you begin to look for a way out. Trying to, remember your past and the directions you took to get out of this dungeon temple originally. And it's just not going anywhere. You keep finding dead ends and paths you don't even remember taking then, or even remember taking now. And it's just getting nowhere. But no matter where you go, you always end up back in this room with this crystal.
Well, I know you weren't here originally. I would have remembered a giant glowing crystal. So, I'm assuming you are not part of my previous experience. I mean, there was the poisonous, misty cloud thing, and lots of other very strange things. But none of them were anything like you.
No sad crystals? Okay.
Nope. This is a first.
And as you say this, looking at the crystal, you see a faint reflection of not the dungeon but it seems as though, as almost as though it's a reflection of the room, like it's reflecting the wall, but it's completely different. It's not the dungeon that you're currently in. It's reflecting like this massive ivory wall that's beautiful,
Uh-huh.
elegantly carved and made.
Also very sus.
Yeah, where they get all that ivory? Think of the elephants.
Well, I mean, it could be from a dragon. I'm sure dragons can give you ivory too.
You know, I never thought about it. Probably.
Now I'm gonna have to add that to a story. Someone wants the ivory from a dragon.
All right, what do you do?
Uh, I guess I'll examine the strange construction, for lack of a better term.
All right, give me an investigation check.
Oh boy. Nat 20.
Natural 20! Alright,
Wow.
as you look into the crystal, gazing in the reflections of it, you notice that it does have a reflection of each individual wall. But the walls are completely different. It is not the dungeon that you have come to remember from your time within it. It is not the memory. It is something else entirely, an entirely different place. It is this beautiful, almost mansion-like building with hallways of ivory, beautiful, intricate carvings in the walls themselves, making different ivory statues of what look like knights and horses and even the building itself. And you notice that there is an unseen pathway, or at least in the pathway that the crystal is reflecting, that isn't in your memory, or your dream, or whatever this place is.
Well, there's only one thing to do. Follow it.
Alright. You approach this wall where you see this reflection, and it's a solid wall. But you put your hand out and touch it, and your hand goes right through.
Even weirder. Well, nothing to be done to go through.
You go through, and you now see an entirely new pathway. That is still of the stone of the temple dungeon from your memory. It's constructed the same way. It's the same kind of pathway as the rest of the building, but this is a pathway that is unknown to you.
I will keep following it.
You keep following it, and as you continue, You make an insight check. That's 22.
Yep,
That's good. That's good. It's good shit.
usually.
As you continue on, you kind of feel that deep, lonely, sad feeling return, but it's accompanied by a smaller feeling of maybe hope.
Weird.
That perhaps someone can find it.
Well, I must keep moving forward. And keep my eyes out in case I see anything strange. Which is asking for a lot here, but
Oh, asking for very little.
we'll be able to pick out what truly is strange. Seems the hard part.
What is truly strange in a world of oddities?
Exactly.
Alright, you continue on, and eventually you make your way out. And there's a flash of white, and the walls of this temple kind of crack and fade away, and you see a brilliant castle of ivory and marble that you stand outside of, and then it fades away.
Interesting.
Fades away into darkness.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
And mostly because I don't want to use up all of our dream sequences in one session, I think that'll be a good place to stop it.
Okay.
As you are waking up in the morning by Veston, where we left off in last session.
Well, that was an experience.
Yay, experiences.
That's one way to put it.
It was weird. It was new. I didn't know how it was going to go.
Very true.
Very strange. What does it mean? What does it mean? I don't even know.
Who really knows?
No one knows. Not even me.
Which is a bad thing, since, you're the one coming up with ideas.
No, it'll be fine. It's great. It's all about the journey, not the destination. Time for the outro. And that'll be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, because it helps out. And I'll see you all next time.